Hello everyone, a very good evening to one and all present here, esteemed speakers and our dear participants. It's a pleasure to have you here. This is Smriti. And that's
And
Sanjeevani,
I'm
my
Vika.
co-host. Could you please? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we are good to
thank
go.
you. Yeah. So we'll be hosting today's webinar that would be about life at product-based companies.
We have with us Mr. Vikas Kumar, who is a software engineer at Google and also ex-computer scientist at Adobe as the speaker for today's session. We're thankful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation and making time for this webinar. And we're extremely happy to have you here with us.
Yes.
So,
So
Sanjeevani, could you please carry forward?
yeah, sure. So we'll be discussing about his experience throughout the session with a bunch of questions that usually every aspiring software engineer has in mind. And you can also put your questions and doubts in the chat box as we proceed with the discussion with our honorable guest.
Yeah. So without any further ado, let's start with the session. And we would like to present our first question that that almost all students have who are aspiring to be software engineers. That is, what was the recruiting process of Google? Could you please elaborate regarding the rounds of tests or interviews that you had to go through? So could you please unmute yourself?
Sorry. So thanks for this question, and I also I want to thank you for inviting me for this session and this introduction as well. So as far as interview process at Google was concerned, I was like a recruiter reached out to me via LinkedIn, and so like when you have 2-3 years of experience, so you generally don't need to go through that route of giving an online test and then clearing that, and then for like that, then they will schedule your interview. So in Google, what happened with me was that there was one telephonic interview which uh, which was taken by someone like from USA, and after that round, that was an elimination round. So if you clear that round, they will call you on site, and on-site rounds. So, but now, so after COVID, the on-site rounds also happens like virtually. So in the on-site rounds, they generally ask DSA questions only. So Google has this policy; they don't ask design questions for like if you have experience of at least 7-8 years. Till 7-8 years of experience, they don't ask design questions. So they only ask DSA problems, and the level of DSA problem is, you can say that if you follow lead code platform, you can say they will ask you the medium to hard level of that website, so you can assess accordingly the level of interviews. And and they don't ask advanced data structures like red black tree and all those things. You don't need to worry about that. The simple the course of DSA which we have in our curriculum, that is enough. Like the syllabus of that is enough to clear Google's interviews. Yeah, and after 3 or 4 rounds of DSA rounds, there will be one Googliness round. That is basically HR kind of round, but that and Google engineer takes that round, not actual HR takes that round. So the questions are basically the type of question which you can expect in an HR round, and those questions are to assess how you will interact with your teams, and basically the workplace diplomacy is what they are assessing, like how you will contact someone across the team when you need help and all those things.
Okay, thank you, sir. Moving on to our next question. So
Yeah,
the
I
next
hope
question,
I answered.
yeah, thank you. So our next question is, as we are aware about the importance of DSA and
Mhm.
how it is the ultimate mantra to get into our dream companies. So the question is solving DSA questions enough, or is competitive coding is a must do to get into a company like Google?
Okay, so competitive coding is DSA only, right? So we cannot separate them. if you are asking about DS, if you are like categorizing DSA question and computer programming separately, so I'm assuming you are saying like DSA is like simple if they will ask you to implement a heap data structure.
Like lead code is enough, or we need to take parts in contests and all. That is my question.
That is up to you, like how you want to practice DSA. You can practice using like participating in the contests and all that, like whatever works for you. But I didn't participate in any contest. In college I used to participate. That is because I was already practicing DSA question on online platforms. Uh, so participating on those contests, that was just for the fun, not for keeping in mind the interview preparation. For interview preparation, you can simply like practice on lead code on your own. And yeah, for Google, you can check that like code courses has this virtual contest kind of thing where you have to solve the problem in a time bound manner. So that you can try to train your mind to solve the problem within a certain time duration. So that will help you definitely, because Google has this strict rule of they will not go beyond 45 minutes. They will only give you 45 minutes to solve the problem. And that thing I have not seen in any other company's interviews. So there is this open discussion, but in Google you have to solve the problem in 45 minutes,
Right.
whatever they are like asking you.
So, did you also used to take part in hackathons during your college days?
No. Like the only development which I did in college was the college projects, not nothing other than that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering the question. We move on to our next question. That is, since all of us, like most of us are in our second and third year, and we usually don't understand the difference between product-based companies and service-based companies. So could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So I also always used to wonder what is the difference between product-based companies and service-based companies. So basically now, like what my understanding is that so you know about TCS. So TCS don't have any of their product for retail users. So you don't use any online product of theirs, right? There is no such product. But Google, you have products like Gmail is Google's product, and YouTube is Google's product. So now I hope I answered. Like TCS is a company which is service based, where become clients like take TCS the help of TCS to build their application or whatever portal they are trying to. So for example, like if I am a bank and I need to build the web application of bank. So I can approach TCS and they will assign some team of engineers who will build that application for me. I will tell them my requirements and all that. But Google don't provide any such service. So Google is a product-based company who launch its own products in the market for retail users. They use that product and that helps in Google to generate revenue. And TCS has separate model that they reach out to clients or clients reach out to them to get their work done.
Thank you, sir. So our next question would be,
You're
since
not
you must
audible.
have had, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you must have had a few months of experience at Google now, so I would like to ask you that what makes Google stand out from other product-based companies, in your opinion?
Mm, So I worked in Adobe and now I'm working in Google. So there are few similarities and there are few differences. This difference is that the size of the company is definitely Google is bigger company than Adobe, and culture is somewhat similar. Adobe is also known for its employee perks and employee benefits, and they take care of their employees very well. Google is also in the same lines, bit like a bit on higher note. Work culture wise, there are few differences which I don't think like you will understand now. There are some practices which a general software, whenever some company works on software projects, they follow certain process. So the process of both the companies is different. And yeah, like both both the so Google has separate revenue model. Adobe has separate revenue model. Adobe started with the license based products, and then they slowly moved to their subscription based services. Google, I think, never had license based products, so that is one difference also.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So we would like to know more about your roles and responsibilities in Google as a software engineer. Like what exactly
Okay, so I am part of Google Docs team, and so my team take care of the entire workflow of opening a Google Doc online on the web. They don't have any offline application as such, so only web application is there. Yeah, so as like right now I'm undergoing training, which is Google's compulsory training for engineers, which I'm currently undergoing, and I don't have much idea what I will be working on exactly, and I'm not supposed to even disclose that what I will be working on because things are pretty confidential. Uh, but yeah, in Adobe, I was a full stack developer. I worked on that application called Adobe Reader, which I hope you guys used as well
yeah.
for
So
rendering. Yeah.
right. So did you have to learn any new software or technology to work at Google? Uh,
uh, Google has most of their tools are internal tools, so they rarely use any third party application. And as far as learning is concerned, their internal tools are they are they're not that much difficult to learn, and also there are like for every new process and tool they have their separate training system, so they take care of that. So, and like if your question is about prerequisites before joining Google, no, you don't need to do anything prior joining Google. They will take care of everything. That is true for every company. uh, they don't expect you to learn something new before joining their team.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to know about the work culture. As you mentioned that there are few perks that you have experienced in Google as well as at Adobe. So what have been the perks as a working professional at Google and as like a working professional at Adobe as well? So how was your experience there?
So, Google and Adobe has almost same perks. So I will explain like commonly. So one thing you must like always already aware of that they have this health insurance thing. So every employee gets some health insurance, life insurance, which is pretty decent. So you don't need to worry about your like to buy an insurance outside. So that will take care of that. Apart from insurance, they have some well-being benefits as well, like gym members. If you are joining a gym, they will reimburse your gym fees. And apart from that, like when you join both of these companies, you will get some relocation benefit, like you are relocating from your hometown to the office location, so that will be reimbursed. These are the common thing between Adobe and Google. So now Google has something over the top of that, which is cab facility from. So like my office location is Bangalore, and if I'm residing on like in some location which is near to my office, I can opt for a cab. So Google provides a cab facility for home to office drop and pick. And apart from that, Google has some benefits which I don't think any other company provides, which is uh, should I say that like if some employee in the event of death of some employee, their family gets 50% of their salary. I think, yeah, some sort of that benefit is as well, which is rare to find in any corporate thing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, another question is, did you find anything unexpected at Google? Like you did not expect would happen when you joined Google?
Mm, uh, as of now, I have not found, but yeah, they have like Google has very, yeah, unexpected. I would not say unexpected, but yeah, there was something which I did not expect. Like Google has their internal portal for Googlers to search the resources of their company. That is very similar to Google, which is available to us, but yeah, that was pretty new. I worked in Adobe, but there was no such portal of like internal search engine for employees. Apart from that, Google has this concept of called 80/20. So whatever, if you are joining some X team, so you can subscribe for this perk, and in that perk you can, so 80% of your work hours will be for that team, and 20% you can devote to some other project, other team of your choice. So for example, I'm part of Google Docs. There is no work related to machine learning or artificial intelligence. So now if I'm interested in doing machine learning and AI projects, what I can do is that I can search for the teams and I can opt for this for 80/20. I can devote 80% of my time to my team, assigned team, and 20% of the time to the team which I chose.
That's great. That sounds
Hmm.
great.
Yeah,
That
and also there are some community contributions as well. Google, that was true for Adobe as well. So they provide you many opportunities to serve back to the society. So if you are interested in social service, you can you Google has tie up with many NGOs, and you can visit their offices. Whatever work that NGO is doing, you can contribute to their work as well. And but how the number of hours you will spend with that NGO, in proportionate to those hours, Google also donates money to those NGOs. So that is that is one interesting fact about Adobe. And
Right.
Yes, sir. So that was something interesting to know. We as students were never aware of these facts. So, sir, would you like to talk about your working experience, as in how do you maintain a work-life balance? How do you work? How are your working hours like, and how do you take out time for other things as well?
yeah, so that is very important uh, thing to maintain your work-life balance, because this job is kind of never-ending process. You can spend your entire day doing your work, but you need to draw a line. So my so I'm particularly very concerned about work-life balance. That's why you can see my choice of companies I worked for. I worked in Adobe and then Google, because both the companies are known for their better work-life balance, and the care that they take very good care of their employees. Because I think like that is also required for your good mental health as well. So to be to be able to maintain good work-life balance. So for like if you are working in Adobe, Google, Microsoft, so you can mention your preferred working hours to the company in prior, so that is visible to every employee in the Google. Whenever if they are scheduling some meeting, they are trying to contact you for some dependency resolve, like if they have some dependency on your team. So if they are trying to contact you, it will completely clearly show a notification to the other person that this person's working hours are from this time to this time, and you are contacting him in out of working hours. So that is one good thing about Google and Adobe. What I do is that I have mentioned my working hours, and like when I'm not working, I try to read some book and do some other activities, spend time with family and all that, which everyone do for work-life balance. So
Yes, that was really insightful. As in, we all are aware how important it is to have work-life balance, and knowing that these big product-based companies has that perk that they allow their uh, employees to have that balance. That's great. And we also have few questions in the chat box. Vivek has other tips you want to give us regarding getting internships in product-based companies? So, sir, would you like to answer that?
Yeah. So for internships, I think I I don't know. I don't have much idea. Like I think they, in my campus, I graduated from Triple IT Allahabad. So there, like Google used to visit that campus for internship. So, but that was very very rare because only they used to select only one, and that too that was only female only. That the arrangement was only for the female engineers. So they used to select one female from every batch for the internship. So Google, I don't have much idea about how Google selects their interns, but I think they visit some tier one colleges to select interns. And you don't need to worry about the internships as such, because anyway you can apply for full time opportunities. It is not uh, required to get an internship first and then get placed in Google. I didn't get an internship. So,
Right. Another question is, were you the kind of student who was motivated since day one of your engineering, or did you start quite later on in the journey of your college days?
Okay, so let me just briefly tell you about my background. So I am from Rajasthan, and my town is very remotely located. So we don't have ample exposure to what are the opportunities available for the for people after 12th. So when I was in my school, I did not have that. I was not even aware of what IIT, Triple IT, what are these colleges. I in my 12th class. So when I completed my 12th class, so my school's principal, he recommended me to join a coaching for preparing IIT entrance exam. I did that. I just went with the flow. So after clearing that exam, I got selected for IIT Advanced, the J Advanced and Mains both. I opted for J Mains because I was that too, like that was also a random decision. I was not sure which stream I should opt in, so I opted for computer science in Triple IT Allahabad. And my entire education was in Hindi medium, and when I went into the college, it was completely English. Everyone, the entire course was in English. So in the first semester, I was not sure what like how to match the speed of other students, because Triple Allahabad has a good culture of competitive programming as well. So some of my classmates, they started doing this thing when they were in like 10th class, 11th class, and here I was, I didn't have any idea about what computer programming is. So after like first semester, like in the ending line of the first semester, I started doing this programming on hacker rank, and then gradually I developed the interest of competitive programming, because uh, the that reluctance is only for few days. After that you will start enjoying competitive programming. I hope you all will relate that writing logics and
Completely.
solving problems and then seeing that green on the online portals, they give you happiness. So after that, like once I started enjoying the process from my first semester itself, I did that. I continued that thing. So for if I did, like I don't remember any 2 3 consecutive days when I have not solved any problem online. So that was the case. But um given that, I know many of my friends who they never like took competitive programming seriously, or even the DSA practice. They don't even have had that account on the online portals, and they only practiced these DSA questions when they were preparing for the placement season, and they are also well placed in many good companies. So it is not required to start DSA questions from early in the college. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The last part has uh, motivated me a lot. Thank you. So, the next question is from Anand. Uh, It is what was the hiring process for Adobe?
Mm,
Like,
pretty much similar to Google. The only difference was that in Google the recruiter reached out to me, but in Adobe I applied online. When I saw some vacancy on the LinkedIn, I applied. I got a mail from HR with the test link. There I have to give the test as well. In that test, there were two questions. One was easy, one was difficult level question. I was able to solve the easy one. Difficult question, I was able to solve 75%, which means the 75% of the test cases were passed and 25% was failing. But I was not sure like if I will get a call, but then they called me for on-site interview, and yeah, interview process was pretty much similar to Google. Only DSA questions were asked because at that time I have only 9 months of experience, so they didn't ask any design question to me. There were four DSA round, plain DSA round, and then one round was with director. So in director round, he don't ask technical questions. It was similar to the Googliness round, which I explained earlier. They ask you the questions related to workplace diplomacy, how will you contact some team member, if like for example, if you need help of some team member and he is not responding, how will you go about it? How will you directly complain to his manager and all those things?
right. And so, how did you practice the interview? Like, did you give any mock interviews?
Mhm. Yes, I have given for Adobe. I did not give any mock interview. Uh, yeah, so here also I want to share this information that even I started my I was very regular with my competitive programming from semester first, for continued to till semester 8. In my campus placement, Triple IT Allahabad is known for very good placement, uh, and I was rejected by 26 companies in the like the starting of the placement season. I was able to clear the online test of all those companies, and uh, but in the interview, even in the first round or second round, they rejected me. They used to reject me, and then I got placed in an NGO, which like at that time most of the students were placed. So if some company is visiting the campus, how can they go empty hands? So at that time they were very lenient, so I got selected. But so I had very the practice of giving interviews face to face, I was very comfortable with, like after this 26 rejections. So when I given Adobe's interview, I did not like opt for any mock interviews. But for Google, because I was out of practice of interviews, so I opted for this online platform called Prime. You can search it on Google. So there you can give free mock interviews. So the concept is that you will give your timings, and your interview will be scheduled. For the first 30 minutes you will take their interview, and the next 30 minutes they will take your interview. So it's a good practice, and the portal is free also, so you can try that. It will like build your confidence to appear for actual interviews. For in my case, for Google's interview, that was very helpful. Even I practiced. I for DSA interviews, I was not very much worried because I was confident about my DSA skills. But for Googliness, I use that platform a lot.
Right. Thank you, sir.
So there's a question from Shiba that is it easy for any software engineer to change his or her team in Google? And what if he wants to work with a team working abroad? So is it easy for software engineers to change their or switch their teams?
Yes, for Google and Adobe both, it is even Google is a company which encourages you to change your teams 2 3 years after, like they, because generally what happens is that when employees are not happy with their work, they leave the company. People don't want you to leave the company, so they encourage you to change your work, your team. But the only thing is that like for the there is a lock-in period. So if you are joining some team for 1 year, you have to work in that team. It's not like that you are joining some team after 3 4 months you want to change that. That is not allowed in Google. 1 month is a lock-in period. Yeah, and as far as abroad transfers are considered, yeah, Google is very flexible in abroad transfers. Adobe was no. So in Google, you can definitely like after that the lock-in period of 1 year is still apply, but you can go for like you can, but that you have to do on your own. You have to talk to that the manager of the concerned team where like I'm interested in this opening. I'm located in other country, and like that thing you have to do on your own. And after everything is finalized, you can inform your manager and but the process is not difficult at all. Like recently, my two of my friends they are in Google, so they transferred to Mountain View office just like 2 3 months back. So I don't think it is a difficult thing. But yes, for some teams they might take you one round of interview, not technical interview, basically to check whether you will be a good fit for their team or not.
Right. So another question is from Swapneshwar. Is that is product-based companies provide any kind of benefits in their products to their employees?
Uh, that varies from company to company. In Adobe, what so in Adobe, all the Adobe employees can access all the Adobe's product free of cost with the Adobe's corporate credentials. And also like you can purchase the softwares with discounted price for your friends and family members. But in Google, I'm yet like I'm still exploring the benefits, but I am not encountered any such benefit of. But yeah, I think Google has something related to this. Like they don't like basically if you want to go for if you want to purchase YouTube Premium, there is no such benefit that Google will give you. But I think the hardware devices like Pixel and Chromebook, if you are buying those devices, I think there are some discounts, but I'm not sure.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Uh, So there's a question from Akash that what was your strategy to be hired in Google from Adobe? Like, how did you jump from one company to another?
There was no strategy as such. I was happily working in Adobe, and I got there. This thing was always in my mind that one day I want to work for Google, but I was not sure. Like it was like from last 3 years, I have not practiced any DS and all that. So I when I got this call from recruiter, I thought like let's give one try. Uh, any case, I have nothing to lose. Like I'm already employed in Adobe. So I gave tried and like for preparation, I just practiced like 100 to 150 problems from lead code. Yeah, that was just the preparation part. And when I was close to this googliness round, I did mock interviews on Prime.
Thank you.
Right.
There's another question from Shiva that what is it like to be on call as a software engineer?
This thing I'm like yet to explore. This is an interesting question because in Adobe there was no on-call thing because Adobe's products are like uh, the release is quarterly. So once the release is done, uh, even if some issue comes, you like there is no hustle. The issue will be fixed in the next release itself. So there was no on-call thing on call in Adobe, but in Google, I think there is this on call thing. So, but I think after 6 7 months of my joining, they will give me this opportunity to be on call. But right now, it is not there. I'm not sure how it will be the experience.
Right. So another question is from Swapneshwar. Is how will we prepare our CVs for these companies? tips and tricks for CV?
I, you can just follow some YouTube video, and there are many templates available online as well. Just try to be truthful with your CV. Don't write anything which you are not comfortable explaining in interview. Uh, and like if you are in college, so you have to mention some projects. But like after you have 2 3 years of experience, you can mention your current work in the CV. And yeah, just be truthful. Don't mention any unnecessary things. Highlight your skills, highlight your expertise, and yeah, that's all. Just try to be like, for the college students, I would recommend to keep your CV one page only. Even I have one page CV, so you can keep your CV one page. Like the length of the CV should not exceed one page, because HRs are, they don't give that much time to every CV. They skim through your CV and they just see, like if you are if they are hiring for a Java developer, so what they will do is that they will just look at into your projects. They will just see the keywords. Like if Java is written in your CV, they will shortlist it for the interview. So you need to be very specific while highlighting your skills and expertise.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those tips. We have another question from Satyam, which is how can one let Google know if he or she has some issues in any of its products? Or you have, like, he has also kept something in bracket, or if I have one with Google Docs, might not be a problem at all, and one with Chrome. Actually couldn't get the question.
Yeah, the second part I could not get, but for any query, I think there are support forums where you can put your queries, and someone from the support will respond. But I think, yeah, it will take, the process is time taking, because the number of users Google serves is tools. I think there are billion users, more than billion users. So
Yeah, right. I think we're out of questions, and there are no more questions in the chat as well. So thank you for answering the questions. And now I would like to invite Shiva, who is the president of Boardship at XIMUV, to address the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Smriti. I hope I am audible.
Yeah,
yes.
you are.
Yes, yes, you know.
So, hello everyone. I'm Shiva Prasad, and as Smriti mentioned, I'm the president of Course XIMUB chapter. And first of all, I would like to thank Vikas sir for accepting our invitation with such a short notice and motivating us with the presence and with your motivating words. And I would like to thank our dean sir for the permission for this webinar. And I would like to thank our faculty advisor, Dr. Arif Ahmed, and Professor Sripati Mohapatra for guiding us behind the stage. I would like to thank Smriti and Sanjeevni for smooth flow of the event. And but at last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants for actively participating and making this event a grand success.
Thank you, Subha.
I think we can end this session right now. Since and I would again like to thank Vikas sir for joining us. It was a really insightful session, and I think we can call it a day now. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. No, thanks for inviting me. And like, if you have any question, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I think I'm more active there, and LinkedIn also you can try, but I don't use that much.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like everyone to turn on their camera for the screenshots. Smriti, take the screenshot.
Yeah, it's done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank Thank you again, sir,
Thank you.
for
Bye bye.
for giving us time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.